I just wanted to mask everything. Even when I just took the first few sips, I was like, I could breathe. I just felt like no one really understood me. I just chased it. I was adopted from Romania. I was found when I was like a couple days old, but I wasn't adopted and brought back to America until I was like 6 months or so. At that time in Romania, the dictator was forcing the woman to have a baby every single year because they were trying to make it a bigger country and essentially make more money because it was really poor. There was so many of them and the mothers couldn't take care of the kids. So people started realizing that there were babies in orphanages and like, it was just really horrible conditions. So people started flocking to Romania to adopt Romanian kids, and I happened to be one of those kids. I always had questions about my birth family, and there was always just like something inside of me, like I felt like a piece of me was missing, and that's a huge part of the reason why I, did drink and why I did do drugs, is I was trying to fill that void. The first time I tried alcohol, I was out near DC with a bunch of older kids, and this guy gave me a bottle of, I think it was whiskey. Even when I just took the first few sips, I was like, I could breathe. I felt like someone was choking me, and I just didn't feel normal unless I was intoxicated. That's the only way I knew how to like live. So my mom found a long-term adolescent treatment center for me to go to in Utah, and I was not excited about going. I snuck out and I was gone for about a week with strangers and being like put in really bad situations with all these tweakers essentially. When I was with these people, they were smoking meth and I had no idea what it was. They held a pipe up to my mouth and told me how to do it. I just wanted to mask everything and continuously be high. I couldn't imagine my life without being high or drunk. I felt so insane. The noise in my head and how much I think, it just would never go away until I put something in my system to make it go away. I just prayed to God that I would have like the strength to get help. I got to a mall and I asked random people I saw for help, and then the police came and my mom came, and the look on her face is something that I will never forget, and it's like horrifying because she had no idea where I was, and honestly she thought I was dead. Looking back on it, that was my first real tangible experience with God that I could look at and be like, wow, like when you truly pray for something and you truly pray for help and you mean it, God will come through and you will be taken care of. And that's something that I held on to throughout a period of time that things continued to get worse. So I got sent to this treatment center for, I believe, like 6 months, and I was really defiant at first, and then I finally kind of surrendered and got some help, but I wasn't done and I wasn't convinced at that point in my life that I needed to stop using. I met my ex-boyfriend who was using meth and had nowhere to live, and I let him in my house and I started using with him. I continued to dig myself into like deeper holes. What happened very quickly is I started getting in trouble with the law. I got arrested 6 times within 7 months, and I was facing like 4.5 years in jail. I called my parents and it was their anniversary, and they were like, we don't want to talk to you, we're like not helping you, like we're done. And granted, they didn't really give up on me. That needed to happen because it was like a big wake-up call that I was ripping through everyone's life like a tornado. Like I just cared about myself, and that's where my addiction and alcoholism took me. And I was in my cell and I was praying like throughout the night. I couldn't sleep because I was high still. And I just kept praying and praying and praying and praying and praying. I remember being like, God, just do whatever you need to do. I surrendered to God in that moment. I ended up getting out of every single charge and not spending years in jail. I started to really explore Christianity and try to understand a little bit more after that time in jail when I really felt God's presence. The only thing that keeps me sober on a daily basis is my connection with my God or my higher power, that constant connection. Looking back on what my mom's been through, I realized that I would do the exact same thing for my daughter. I mean, there's just like unconditional love there, and it's a connection that I've really never had with anyone. And when Haley was born, that was like the first person that looked like me and that was like mine. My adopted family, they're my family too, but I never had that like real blood family experience ever. After I had my daughter, my adopted mom gave me paperwork from my adoption, which I never had my entire life. It still makes me emotional when I think about the fact that I have two families and one of them is very far away and I don't know much about them, and then, you know, the other one's here. Sorry, this is like really hard for me. I started to like write blogs and join like adoption groups on Facebook and like share my story, and I spent calling the embassies and learning how to speak some Romanian and asking questions, calling random numbers in Romania. And I tried like searching for my birth family. It's something that like I wanted my entire life, and I now had a little more information. And this woman contacted me on Facebook and she said that she helps reunite Romanian adoptees with their birth families. And then she shared my story on her Facebook page, and not even 24 hours later, she contacted me and she said, 4 people on the Facebook page know of your family, but only one of them is willing to go tell them that we found you because they're gypsies. And gypsies are like very looked down upon. They ended up Skype calling me at this woman's house, and I saw my mom and my dad and one of my brothers for like the first time, and it was like the craziest experience of my life. It was like finally, after I was 24 at the time, like finally like I have some answers. But I wasn't going to stop there. I wanted to go meet them, and people from social media like donated, and I got to go to Romania.
Haideți în casă, hai Ionel în casă. Haide Andrei, Paiola, hai Ionel în casă.
Lasă.
It's our father.
I got answers, and I saw the way that they lived, and it's not pretty. I mean, they don't have the essentials, they don't have electricity, they don't have a toilet, they don't have beds, like they don't have anything.
Your sister.
The connection that I felt with them is, I needed that to fill that void that I had. I think the worst feeling is feeling you're alone and like no one understands you and you're just like misunderstood. And I know that there's other people out there who feel that way, and I know that there's other people, whether you're adopted or not, but I can say as someone who is adopted, there's always those questions, and I hope that I can inspire other adoptees if they want to look for their family to go look for them.